with different routing protocols providing routing paths for various source destination pairs. From a network point of view, the concern is what is the overall impact of these routing protocols on the overall performance of the network. The overall performance of the network is what is concerned with, say, revenue generation from an ISP point of view. That is the topic of discussion in this module. First, we shall understand that route discovery is not determining the links or the path alone. Instead, it is a route and rate allocation problem. Then, we'd look at it as a formal problem that needs attention with maximization, or in other words, finding out what is the upper bound on the performance that can be extracted from the network. Anurag Kumar sheds significant attention and throws light on this particular aspect, in which the goal is to maximize the profitability of a network by looking at the maximum performance gain a network could offer. The route and rate allocation is actually the simultaneous consideration to the path which is chosen depending on the links taken and the rate requirements. So if lambda connections are distributed over I classes for the given network, then rho sub I k times lambda would be the number of class I connections for various source destination pairs k. It can all be summarized by this double summation, that is, for all the classes starting from I is equal to 1 to capital I, and for all the source destination pairs, the overall impact, which would be based on the traffic which is generated depending upon the number of connections which are opened, is always going to be 1. It means we are interested in maximizing this in a network. We want to achieve always 100% performance, and we want to see how much can we extract from it. If not all the connections can be admitted because the network has a capacity limitation, then we must find a subset of source destination pairs which together are maximizing the utility. Formally, we say, what is the maximum value or the revenue of the minimum weighted carrying traffic, that is, of all the flows which are flowing in the network? The minimum profitability is certainly going to be of the flow which is minimum. How can we maximize that? Through route and rate allocation algorithm from a given network. This is an offline routing problem, also known as the integer linear program, where we have an objective function that is subject to certain constraints. Here, our objective function is to maximize the minimum flow profitability by taking into consideration the carried traffic on the network and the revenue generated from that traffic. It is subject to the constraints such as the carried traffic is going to pose the limitation because it might cross the total capacity which is being offered, and the number of class connections, because low class, or I would say low quality of service class connections could be offered more in number, and vice versa. So these are the constraints which are going to determine the maximization of the objective function.